I would like to film this on 8 of my platforms, 8 of my biggest platforms. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's totally fine. That is totally fine, actually. Cause this is something that I want to get out there too. So that's cool. Live or are you just recording?
Live.
It's
Oh,
a
I
good
see.
thing that I prepared.
She move her body like a shaman. All in my head, so much in common. Just say that word, baby, I'm on it. If this ain't love, then I don't want it. She move her body like a shaman.
That we can accomplish on the there and just how that was broken, etc., for my platform's sake. So they can understand that we are not trying to push no perversion. It is something that we have done and successfully
Yeah,
accomplished.
absolutely.
There we go.
Ashe, Islam, Namaste, Holito, Oseyo, Shalom. Whatever the greeting is in your respective language, I am your humble brother Crumb here for another installation of CRUMBTV. You know how I like to get things started, family, so I just want to do that the way I usually do it and let you know that I am on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, smash that subscribe button, CRUMBTV. I'm also on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, give me a Grammy, CRUMBTV_. Last but not least, I'm on Racebook. What better place for your favorite races? Follow me, CRUMBTV. With that said, without further ado, here's a new installation of CRUMBTV. It's called Polygamy. Crumb and a Queen talk. So this is my first time speaking on it, and I'm balancing out the energies. You've only heard it from a masculine perspective. Today, you will hear it from a feminine, divine entity, just to balance out the ethers and the chakras, family, because I talk too much. You already know that. So without further ado, I want to introduce my humble sister, and she's actually on her podcast right now. So I'll let her do it because we're recording on her side. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. I will introduce myself quickly and then just get into it. Hi guys, welcome to Culture Healing. Hi guys over there in Crum as well. Welcome to Culture Healing. Today we're going to be talking about polygamy, polyamory, all of those great stuff. And I know a lot of you are not familiar with it, so I can't wait until he and I get into this awesome topic as well.
Thank you so much, sis, for having me. It really does make a huge difference because I feel so alone when I say certain things. You kind of get ostracized. So
Yes.
It's very refreshing to have someone who's willing to speak on a topic.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, why were you interested in this?
I became interested in a few months ago. Actually, it's been almost a year, right? It's something that's been thinking about. And we know that the ratio to female to men are great in numbers, right? And I always wonder what is up with Mother Nature. She balanced everything out beautifully, but then we still have more female than male. So I went into our history, started to research some other stuff, and then I started to look at it economically from our spectrum as a melanated being. We are not doing well, right? And I was like, what if we had multiple wives within our union? And then I went into more digging into that. And I'm like, the reason why this can't work is because the women sisterhood is broken. So then I got into the sisterhood being broken, how they began broken it, why they began broken it, and I went into it like in a major way. And then when I sit down and I reevaluate myself, I realized that I really and truly have no issue with my female. And I actually have no issue with wanting another mate, another female as a mate within my union. So I decided to bring it up to my current mate and I asked him, how would you feel if I said to bringing another female? Here are the things that I am thinking of it. She needs to be able to think like me, be in a spiritual mindset like me, eat completely right, and understand the union. She as well needs to know what she is getting into. And to have a union like this, we will be able to have a great foundation because we will be able to control our children's mind, control their educational base, control their eating, control the economic spectrum, whereas I have a job, he has a job, she has a job. We'll be able to combine that money, use that money to build our business and go forward from there. So that is the direction I'm looking at it as well.
You know, the main thing that you said that really stood out to me, and I've had to learn this myself because of my ups and downs. Fellas, a man cannot lead. I just want to be humble about it. I don't want to put our brothers down. And I know even as a man, I get like, oh, her. Well, brothers, it's something that a woman has to establish. Now, the other thing you said I was so happy about is sisterhood.
Yes.
Our men, with all due respect, have ruined the idea of polygamy. And anytime our men take the lead, it becomes something else. So for our women who are squeamish, I completely understand and I'm with you. I just want to get behind my sister and say, if we get back to our culture in terms of matriarchy, where our women lead, we're going to see a completely different thing. I wanted to point this out to you, sister, before I pass the mic. A hammer can build you a house. That's a true statement. But a hammer can also kill a person. That's a true statement as well.
Yes.
So you're going to see where these things can be really good or really bad depending on who's in control.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Agree with you completely, because my thing about it is a union like this is great, right? We have women who are progressive in nature. We are the go-getter, right? I will tell a female, yo, I have this idea. Let's do this. Let's get it done. And she will be like that, right? Tell a male that, and he's going to be like, give me time. Let me think about it. And I'm like, yo, I have done the research. We don't see any error in this. Let us get it done, right? So I am going to be open and say 50% of the reason why I want another mate in the union is because of the go-getter mindset of a female, right? It is great, but I cannot have a man in a union like this and his mindset is purely, I have many females and it's about sex, right? I need him to understand that, yes, sex is great, but sex is not number one for something like this.
Right.
Understand? So we are going to be doing that. I had a live with another guy about this and he was focusing on, are you guys going to be sleeping in the same bed as such? And I'm like, no, you're going to offset the females who might consider this. Don't do that. Right? So in a union like that, it is about being open enough to understand that you have so many great feminine divine around you and open enough to have them lead you and open enough to trust the leadership and open enough for us as well to trust him in his leadership with us. Because as we know, we are not here to belittle a union like this. That is not what we are here to do. So we are here to make it work. So he has ideas, we have ideas. We are here to bring it into fruition. The main purpose of something like this for me is so that we can continue to protect the minds of our children. A union, go ahead.
I want to add value to that part because I think one of the biggest issues for men in polygamy and men in general is that we view our women through a European lens.
Thank you.
The European, in terms of history, has subjected his counterpart. Remember, in the Constitution, Europeans did not allow their women in those forums.
Yes.
Go look at your Bible.
Yes.
There are very few, if no, divine feminine energies or depictions for that matter.
Yeah.
We as a society have only depicted our women as sexual objects, and polygamy won't fix that. Marriage won't fix that. No. How we raise our sons will determine how they see women. Yeah. And if mama ain't really teaching him the value of a woman, then he will go out and, show what he was taught at home. And that's one thing. I was with my cousin and her daughter said, "I don't need a man."
Mm.
I'm sorry. Her daughter said to her, "You don't need a man."
Oh.
So then I grabbed my son. I made up a lie. I said, "Hey, I left the iron on." I took him in the car. I said, "Baby, you need a woman.
Right.
The best thing that will ever happen to you in your life is a woman."
Right.
Now, let me just say this one more thing before I pass the mic.
Okay.
And it's an overall point. In the Bible, biblically speaking, God didn't call woman woman. He called woman helpmate, because we as men understand a woman will bring things into fruition. She will manifest things. Not only will she manifest a child for you, she'll manifest a $1 million business for you. She'll manifest your greatest goal. So when a sister says the women can manifest, this is a part of her nature. She's just, if you look at a right brain and left brain person, those left brain people, the feminine side is your creative side, and root word of creative, create.
And this is just me slightly getting off topic because I want to add to something great that you just said. You said that a woman is here to manifest, and recently I've been looking into sexual manifestation as well, whereas the man and the woman can sexually manifest together, where we can actually have an objective in mind, picture that objective, and have tantric sex, I think is what they call it, and picture that and use that essence to manifest it. So that is something as well I'm going to be doing on my channel, guys, so look out for that too. So yeah, add into that. But yes, when it comes to, and this is why I am currently doing a sisterhood series, so we can break down the dynamic of our relationship. I feel like once we have tackled that, and once we've go into healing among sisterhood, we will be able to be open enough to a union like this. But because we don't trust each other with every dynamic that we have, and me being from the Caribbean, I grew up with seeing females talking behind each other's back, stealing the man, or saying, pulling something down with reference to do with her features, her body, or whatever the case is. So I am accustomed to having females not being open to one another. And this is where sisterhood comes into play in a lot of ways for a union like this, because in something like this, we cannot have you becoming emotional or being jealous of another mate, whether it is that he shows her more attention or not. That's not it. You are in this union to love one another. So for him now, he can't be showing another female more affection, or not, for the people who are not fully prepared for something like that, because we do know that there are emotions in this. But for myself, and for other females that I've talked to, we don't really have an issue whether he decides to give her more focus or not. That is not the importance of something like this. Go ahead.
You know, I wanted to add value because it's such a sensitive topic within our community that we deny. And I'm not talking about polygamy, I'm talking about love.
Yes.
We are infamous for hating each other for the most retarded reasons. You know, you got a better car than I do. You're light skin, I'm dark skin. Your hair looks good, mine doesn't. Just different things, and we just choose to not love each other. And you know, I don't want the family to say polygamy and only see a relationship between a man and a woman. Our relationships as a people have been destroyed. And if we look, and just this is not where we have to start. We can start anywhere. But if we look at the relationships between our women and women, one of the most popular TV shows here in America, unfortunately, is Atlanta Housewives. And if you look at these housewives, there's nothing wively about them. I don't know if wively is even a word, but they're not wife. The idea that I think of when I think of a wife, I don't see them in that light. You know, and I think Atlanta Housewives, amongst other TV shows, are programming us how to deal with, you know, how sisters particularly deal with each other. And if you go look at Atlanta Housewives, and if you were a sister and you say, hey, I don't like as a black woman, I don't like black women. If a young girl age 12 was to draw that conclusion after watching Atlanta Housewives, I could not blame her.
Because it's right there.
TV is promoting a toxic relationship between our women. So now one of the biggest issues between us and polygamy is not necessarily a man. It's actually how the relationship between our
Between the women.
sisters, our women, our mothers,
Exactly.
our aunties, our daughters has been
Exactly.
destroyed.
Yeah, agree with you completely. And I spoke about this with someone as well. As I said, I'm doing a sisterhood series and we are breaking down every spectrum. And she was saying that in her union, she had her females who would something happened to her. And she went to her mom, and the mom is like, well, I don't believe you. This is not true. You know what I mean? This is your mother. You are being open about something that happened to you. She's supposed to have your back, and she doesn't have your back. Understand? So something like that can break a female in the home. Then she's going to go out there with that consensus saying that if I tell another person, they as well are not going to believe me. If I tell another female who I want to trust, they're not going to believe me. And that breaks that down. I grew up with that dynamic in my family where my aunt is going to be talking about this aunt and talking about this neighbor, and then expect us to come and be open to you as well. So we have that dynamic in the home as a community, and we know exactly how that was broken, but some of us are not sure of the different things that has played within the community of women. And this is why I am doing my series, to bring attention to that in our female spectrum.
Absolutely. And I think what you are doing is changing the direction
Narrative.
that we are going to as a
Yes.
society and putting the leadership back in the rightful hands. If I could just broach another point of why polygamy is such a hard pill to swallow, and I just blocked somebody on my platform.
Okay, why? What did
I
they
blocked
do?
them because they said, "Oh, I'm just not for polygamy."
Okay, cool.
The reality is, the reason I blocked that person is because, unfortunately, our people will automatically take an emotional response to some, or rather, an opinionated response.
That's not their opinion, by the way.
Right, but a lot of the opinions aren't based off anything other than misinformation. Exactly. So let me try to start here with the Bible. The Bible really put a bad light on polygamy, even though there are a lot of so-called polygamists in the Bible.
Right.
Because our people have dealt with this from the aspect of a harem. Yeah. Now, you can't own a person. A harem is where a man owns a group of women, a group of women. Even today, when a man is in a relationship with a woman, he'll say, "That's my woman." Or even our women will say, "That's my man." And I want to point out the word "my" being focused on ego.
Yes.
You can't own a person. Men can't own women, and women can't own men. Our women have been fed a lot of poison, toxic ideology where the greatest thing that she will do in her life is become
get married.
That's not true.
Yeah. Yep. It's like the number one thing here in the Caribbean. Oh my God. It is the number one thing. A girl, please don't forget your point, by the way, right? But I'm just bringing it in to show you how deep it is. In the Caribbean, you are bred as a woman, right? You're birthed. You're then said, hey, learn to cook, learn to clean. When you get to 18, you're going to meet a nice man and you're going to marry. In Guyana, that's where I'm from. By the age of 20 to 25, female and male are married. Quick as ever. That is what is happening in our group of people. So that is what they raise our females to do, to get married early. Go ahead.
So now, if you go and look at Disney, for a woman to get her happily ever after, Cinderella had to get married.
Right.
Pocahontas had to get John Smith. I'm trying to think of these Disney's movies. They're not coming to me as quickly as I'd like them to. Nonetheless, if you go and look at the boys, for us to get our happily ever after, all we had to do was think, be brave, courage, determined, all of these qualities that people should embody were exclusively for our boys and our women. For them to receive their happily ever after, she had to come under the authority of a man. And that's the patriarchy that a lot of our women have been fed, where she has no other aspiration than to fall up under a man. And that's where I believe even marriage has been sort of toxic to our women.
Yeah, I agree with you. Marriage is not, because, for example, when you look at marriage and you get married, you're marrying for someone. You are creating yourself to be for someone. You are forgetting who you are. Later in the marriage, you are unhappy because you don't know who you are. Understand? He is accustomed to having this person be for him. So when you decide that you want to be yourself, it conflicts with what he knows you to be. Understand? And then that breaks down his world that you've created for him, and then that breaks you down. Understand? Because you've created that for him. Don't even say that this is what you had to do. You consciously made that decision to be the woman he wanted you to be instead of being the woman you wanted you to be. Understand? And then go from there. But we don't trust ourselves because we are so desperate. It made us that way, to become for someone instead of becoming for who we are or who we're supposed to be. So he is correct. Your marriages are not going to work whether it is you're doing it in Jesus' name or not. You cannot do it in somebody else's name. You have to do it for you. The moment you've done something for you is the moment you've done it truly, completely. Okay? So stop marrying people for them, marry them for yourself. Yes. So yeah.
You know, it is so powerful you said that. I've heard so many women say they got lost in a man. In addition to that, I wanted to ask my sisters, you know, not telling you what to think, how to feel, but if you could just have a moment of honesty and press one, if you yourself or you've known of a woman who lost herself within a man. She lost her identity within a man.
Yes.
She lost her dreams and her aspirations within a man.
Yes.
She somewhat gave up a part of herself.
I pressed that one as well. Yes, I have. I used to be. I had a relationship that I learned to cook for him. I learned to do everything for him. And then when I got to 20 and decided I want to be for me, he didn't like that. And this is exactly what I meant earlier when I said he didn't like that. I wanted to be for myself, to be who I truly were. He didn't know her and he didn't want to be with her. So I guess he had to go. It's that simple. We do this a lot in our lives. And for me, I feel like because we never really had that female that we can say, hey girl, I am going through a thing right now. I want you to help me, right? We don't have that union where we could reach out to another sister and talk to her without her being completely ghetto. I'm sorry, but it's ghetto, where you're telling her, man, leave that man, or leave this, ain't it good for you, blah, 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 blah. All of those negative housewife of Hollywood type of nonsense that they be saying, right? So we are not able to do that. So with that, we take the load as a female because we are not able to offload it onto another female, right? We're not able to open to her and say, hey, I want to talk to you about something without judgment. I want to talk to you about something and see you tell me the right things to do, right? And this is why sisterhood is major. We cannot have a union like polygamy without sisterhood. And we are broken, completely broken as beings, as female. Go ahead.
You know, I got to admit, even as of recently, I was kind of put in my place because a woman spoke to me and she told me something very clearly and plainly. And then I came back to her maybe a week later and said, you never told me that. Oh. And she says, you don't listen.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, I'm guilty. You know, and I saw it with my father as well. My father would have had tunnel vision. If he's so focused on something, you know, something big can happen and he'll miss it just because he had that tunnel vision. Right. I wanted to share with the family a little bit of science. A woman can think with both sides of her brain simultaneously.
Yes.
A man can only think with one side of his brain at a time. Yes. This is just the science of it. Yes. It's not an opinion. I really urge the family to research this, and I'm going to tell you why that's important. A man can't necessarily listen and talk at the same time.
Yep.
not saying that anybody should do that, but if anybody's capable of doing that, it's two women. So now from the outside looking in, men say that women are like chickens and are all just squawking at the same time. It may look like chaos from the outside in, but
that's our language, by the way. Let's just put it out there. That is our language, okay?
So now there's something special within the way two women can communicate that a man can't do. Yeah. And now, so when a woman goes to express herself, a man, because of his particular, it's not an inferior nature, it's a particular nature. There's some things she can do that I can't, some things I can do she can't. So because of his particular nature, he's not very well suited for these certain circles of conversation. And one more thing before I pass the mic. In terms of sisterhood, at one point in time, women would come together every single month and congregate.
Yes.
And if I could share this with the family, in antiquity, it was called red tent, REDTENT, in which the women, only women exclusively, no tran or anything funny, but they would come together each month and they would build and express and share with each other, commune with each other. Moon Lodge, thank you so much, sister. Someone in the comments added value by saying, not only was it called Red Tent, it was called Moon Lodge.
What you said is pretty amazing, but my thinking is, we don't do nothing so right now. We have not done anything like that, period. Any union that I have noticed us having are females coming together and drinking and bashing men. And it goes nowhere. For me, that is not progressive in any light. It's not going any sort of way. So for me, I mostly focus on speaking or adding value to any being that I'm able to speak to, especially our female. When it comes to motherhood, I am extremely passionate about that because you are the reason for our sons. You are the reason for our daughters. Understand? So what you are feeding them, they will pick into the world and plant that and make it grow. Okay? So we have to be conscious and responsible. We have to take the responsibility and watch what we say. We have to be observers of ourselves in any aspect, in anything that we do. This is the change that we need to have right now. And I feel as women, if you are not working, I think you should take time back and reevaluate you. Reevaluate what are the substance and things that have been placed into you, so that way you can be able to change the narrative that has been in your family. The narrative that we've been taught in the family is not of health. It is not of growth. Understand? And they want to keep that narrative. So I always say to be observers of your thinking, observers of your triggers, observers of what you say to another person. And that is the beginning of change in anything that we want to do. Right? But I need to ask him a question. Obviously you're interested in it, and I have to interview you now for my platform now, right? And for me, what is not an ideal woman, but I don't know how else to phrase it, okay? For your union in a polygamous relationship, polygamy relationship, what are you looking for, and what should a man look for? Because for right now, I feel like our men don't have that foundation where they're to say that they can choose a female. She has a big butt, she look good, I like her, right? But for right now, we need to take a step back from all of that body issues, sorry for saying that, and look at her mind. It is the mind that leads the creation that you're going to be creating with that female. Understand? Everything that you're going to be doing is from here. If she's broken, she's going to be creating brokenness in your union. So should a man look for who wants to do something like this?
You know, I must admit, within my own rearage, I was raised the wrong way. My father told me, and all the men in my family, they told me to go and sow my wild oats.
Are coming to America. All right, that's not it, people. That's
right. And I did that.
Uh-huh.
And it caused me so much grief, strife, confusion, sadness, heartbreak. I hurt others. It was such a toxic ethos of how to live one's life as a man. Now, at this point, I am truly looking for a sisterhood for two reasons. One is selfish and the other is unselfish. I know there's women out there who I am not attracted to, but their sons and daughters need me. They need a man in their life. As I got older, after my father transitioned, another man came to me and he said, a father is not a father because he has a child. A father is a father because a father is needed. And that day when I cried, he was my father. I was crying over the death of my father, and my father came to my side.
Right. Deep, deep.
In terms of polygamy, there are women out here who have no men in their life, no men in their children's life. Now, I want to give a very sad reality to our men. You're going to have to be in a relationship with a woman where you take care of that woman and her children, and she's not ready to be sexually active with anybody, and you must stand by her, men.
Yes,
agree. At this point, our men have a mission as a husband that does not include sex, and it is a hard mission, but it is a mission that we need to adopt as men. Those children need a father. Even though their father is not around, these women need a man to support them that is not looking to have sex.
I agree with you.
What I'm looking for in a woman is a woman that is not overly sexualized. I'm a Scorpio, one of the most sexual zodiac sign of the zodiac.
Yes.
My sexuality has caused me more harm in my life than it has helped me.
Yep.
At this point, I don't need that type of energy in my life. If there's an over-sexualized woman who wants to join me in polygamy, I will respectfully decline her advances.
Yes, agree.
At this point, our people, as a people, don't necessarily need to focus on any sexual activity.
Yeah.
At this point, we need to build our people back up. So what am I looking for in a woman? I'm looking for a woman who wants to teach her children. I'm looking for a woman that wants to heal her nation. I'm looking for a woman that wants to grow her own food. I'm looking for a woman who is independent mentally. That's the perfect woman to build your nation. If she's a woman that wants to watch more TV than creating. Don't get me wrong. I'll watch a little bit of TV with my lady, no problem. But if all she wants to do is watch TV, I can't accept her advances.
She ain't learning nothing. She ain't learning a single thing.
So at this point in my life, I want a woman who will match my swag in terms of development of my personal life, of my children, and of my community.
Yeah, I agree. And men, for my platform, this is the conversation we should be having. This is not the time to be having a lot of sex. It lowers you in the right direction. It opens you up to focus on something like that. We do not want our minds to be distracted with the amount of distraction that we already have around us as is. Understand? So it makes, I always tell my men on my side of the spectrum, because I find that they tend to have a lot of babies, and then that's it. You decide to have sex, have a kid, and then what is there? Then your kid is going to have the same upbringing if you're not responsible enough at the same upbringing that you've had, and then carry along that line. Then there is no type of healing. There is no type of turnover within your family line. It just continues and continues and continues. We cannot have that. We are outnumbered economically. Understand? And this is where I want to actually go with this in a sort of a way. We are outnumbered economically. We are the majority and outnumbered economically. Does that make any sense to us right now? Come on now, think about it. How are we going to be the majority and don't have anything? Exactly. You can't do that. So we have to take time back from that statement and think about, like, wait, what now? How is that even possible? And then think about why they made polygamy illegal. Then take a step back and say, hey, yeah, no, this is fishy, right? And then put your research into that and then go forward from there. We need a union where we have the head of the household on an equal platform, because I know a lot of people are not going to like me saying the head of the household being a man, because you're still into the European mindset. This is not that time and place to think in the European mindset. This is something bigger than that. This is why there is the European mindset in the first place. So we have to take a step back, think about the men that we are dealing with. What is he offering mentally? He looks good. He may have a good job, but what is he offering to you mentally? Where have you guys gone since you've been in this union? Those are the questions that you should be asking yourself. For me, to have a union like this in an economic spectrum is to have a man who knows who he is, knows where he want to go, understand that it takes a step back, not to be biased with a school full of females who may want to have a union like this, but it's not mentally mature enough to understand their emotions. Because as women, we are open in our emotions in a bad way. We were taught the wrong emotions in the first place. So we always snap at the slightest thing. We need to stop that. That is not necessary. We need to think before reacting. So for me, sisterhood is major, because it takes that one sister at the top of everything and say, hey girl, you are actually overreacting right now. Actually, that is not even what you're supposed to be thinking. You're supposed to look at it in a different light. So economically, having a union like this, we have 3 females in a union with a man who can take what you and that other 2 female ideas is and make it a reality. Understand? You go ahead.
My apologies. Before I tackle the economic, I wanted to just go with what you were saying mentally. I wanted to just kind of my audience, because I know we're both sharing audiences right now. On my side, to the listening audience, can you please press 1 if you acknowledge, male or female, that you had sex before you were mentally ready? And I'm going to press 1 on my side as well, because that's what happened to me. On my side, and on your side as well, completely up to them. Can you press 1 if you, in your own opinion, there's no right or wrong answer. Did you have sex? Did you engage in the physical act of intercourse prior to being mentally ready? I want to take the lead and say, yes, I did. And I want to say that based off what you were saying, a lot of times these things take mental preparation, and mentally we aren't in the right space before we engage in certain things. But yeah, I just want to say that now that that's off my chest, we can go to the economic side.
Right. No, I was saying in a union like that, we need to be smart about it. Right now, they're not giving us much room to be in an economical ladder. There we go. For lack of a better word, with them, right? In a union like this, we can be able to bypass that within a year, okay? Within a year. Now, we know in the Caribbean, I don't know about overseas, but in the Caribbean, for my audience, it is extremely difficult for us to get a piece of land. When we do get a piece of land, it is really small. It is to the fact that you can build your home. There is no outside border but a car park where you park your car. You can't grow anything. You are left to go to the stores, understand, to buy the food that they're killing you with in the first place, okay? So you have a union where you guys say, hey, we're going to start a business. We're going to put money from each of our pays in a little thing. And that money is going to use to go start a business or buy a piece of land. With that land, we do something productive with it. Where if you're renting, you build a house, you move into the house. You see where I'm going with this? Understand? With that, within a year, you don't have to work for the man. You are the man. It's that simple. With that, what you do is employ your own melanated people. Okay? And then you go from there. So you see, in a union like this, we have 5 families doing something like this, employing melanated people. Do you see what this ladder is creating in a union like this? This is why I'm for it. 50% of the way, because it's going to take us out from where we are as people. It's going to be able to say, hey, one of the wives stay home, she take care of the home, take care of the children. You know where your children are, you know what they're learning, you are preparing them for the way, and the others are out there making sure that everything is set. We need this. Your opinion on it, though. I want to hear your opinion from my audience.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for asking me. I want to say, just to kind of segue from my last comment, what do I look for in a woman? A woman who is concerned about establishing community. Her aspirations have to be bigger than just her. If a woman has a goal, if her goals are only to her, are only to her children, then she might not be fit for an overall community. And I think as a people, that's where we've gone astray. So now, when we talk about the economic side of this, where did this current ideology come from? It came from off the plantation. One of the rules of the plantation is that there will be no nation building. We believe that the plantation was exclusively for economic means. Well, we must understand there was a guy by the name of J. Marion Sims, which is just one of the people that proves that the plantation was also a laboratory where they studied us at. J. Marion Sims is the father of gynecology. It makes no sense. There should be a mother of gynecology, but that's another topic. Anyway, it is. So now they knew the power of love as demonstrated through us. They knew the power of our relationships as they saw it through us. They knew how fertile we were because they saw all these things firsthand. So they developed and implemented a plan of anti-nation building. They knew they couldn't stop us from coming together. So now they're going to control it to say, hey, one man can only marry one woman. If not, you're going to overpopulate the plantation, and his land can't accommodate our numbers. So now, on the economic side, even if we were to come on that plantation, and we were allowed to nation build like we did prior to the plantation, because of our strong relationships, we would have overcome them. Now, let me put this in modern day terms. So now, the reason why homosexuality is legal, and if the family's not aware, they might have to look this up. Bestiality is legal in 32 states. So now, here in America. The reason why, now keep in mind, we only need 6 more states. Only 6 more states. 38 states will make it a national law. If 6 more states adopt bestiality in America, bestiality will be a national law. So now it's called 2/3 override. Anyway, so now the reason homosexuality and bestiality have been accepted within English-speaking nations, and polygamy is still outlawed, is because there's a power, there's an economic power. Now, why is the economic power important? Henry Kissinger inked out a memorandum called NSSM 200, and he said, we're going to offer 2 things. We're going to offer an alternative lifestyle to break up these relationships between the Black man and Black woman, and we're going to control the food. Henry Kissinger coined the term, control the food, control the people. Now, the thing that you spoke about, sis, you said, if we get this money, the first thing we do, buy land. Once we get the land, the first thing we do, grow food. Henry Kissinger said, control the food, you control the people. Well, to get the food, you need the land. To get the land, you're going to need an economic solution or an economic remedy. If 3 people, now keep in mind, when we say a single parent household, that is synonymous with a single income household. A 2-parent household is synonymous with a 2-income household. So
wait, I just want to add, please don't forget that part. I just want to add this really quickly. Remember, in what they've done is created a single parent household, meaning a single mom. Majority of our relationships out here, we know that there are single moms in the spectrum. With just that alone, we can't go anywhere. When you look at the single moms out there too, actually having a 2-parent home, it is this tiny, okay? But continue. I just want to bring that there to show them that they've done that. They've made it so that we only have single parent household.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. In addition to that, this was promoted in the 1970s, well, from the 1950s to the 1970s. The projects or a group of apartments stacked on top of each other in close proximity was invented in the 1950s. One of the policies of the projects, because Black people tend to have a horrible memory and they're not very good at history. So let me just remind our single mothers a part of what got you in that predicament. The erection of the projects, and no pun intended when I said erection, excuse me. Right. So now, one of the policies of the projects is no men allowed. If you wanted to better yourself, you had to do that without a man. This is a part of the psychology. Even my grandma told me my grandpa lived in the projects with her, but once a month they did inspection, and my grandma snuck my grandpa out through the back door. She would hide his shoes and haul his clothes and stuff like that, so there was no evidence of my grandpa living in the house. But if you ask our people how we got to this place, they'll forget that. I'm not going to go into that. I just want to point that out. But getting back to what you were saying, we have to strengthen our houses, because this ideologies, what we tolerate, this is a saying. What this generation tolerates, the next generation will embrace. So now we tolerated this single mom ideology through Section 8 policies. Now the younger generation of women have totally forgotten about that, and now they're seeing it as a wave of empowerment.
Yes.
And just to finish my thought out, what we need to do economically is to get away from these diversive policies, these divide and conquer policies that are based off our livelihoods, whether that be to feed our families, house our families, or to fund our families. There is an economic remedy, but we've been brainwashed, through television and European psychological manufacturings to go away from that. So in essence, a 3-person household is going to put you in a situation if you're able to do the right thing. If Jerome, Keisha, and Rhonda come together and all they can do is have sex, that's not polygamy, family. Let's be clear, that's not polygamy.
You just have an orgy.
That's an orgy. That's it.
Just have an orgy.
If Jerome, Keisha, Shanae, whoever come together and put their money together, now we talking. Now we got a real relationship.
Oh yeah, we do. Now we have a relationship. No, and this is where that comes into play. But men, I this is why I wanted a man in my forum to show them that we need to stop letting them feed us this sexualized society. We've been too prone to this. Is in our cartoons, for the love of God, the things that we allow our children to watch. Is in almost every single series and movies there is out there. Sex is constantly in our faces. So we think that is important. For example, a woman, we spoke about this earlier. She thinks to love a man. Actually, no, this was a video I did. To love a man is to give him sex. This is my love to you. It is not your love to him at all. He doesn't even know what love is, first of all. Okay? So if he did know what love is, he would be like, hey girl, no, your body is not the love that I need. He would stop you. He would teach you. If you in a relationship and a man, and you allow this man, or you say, hey, I love you, let me have sex with you. And he's like, yeah, I can feel your love. Let's have sex. Girl, he don't love you. Understand? He needs to say, hey, no, that is not what love is. Love is not you, me doing it. We need to be doing something else. He needs to teach you. It is, our men have downtime. A lot of them, go ahead.
Listening is a form of love.
Oh.
When he listens, sis, if he listens to you,
man. Y'all hear that?
A man can have sex with you and not love you. If a man listens to you, he listens.
Thank you. Boom. And that's it. You know what I mean? So I forgot my thought. That was so good. I forgot my thought. I totally forgot what I was saying.
No, you were talking about what love really is and how sex does not equate to love. And I just wanted to add, you know.
Do you? I remember somewhere. It doesn't matter, do you?
You know, I've had women when I was younger who had sex with me. I believe they loved me, and they tore me to pieces. You know, and I didn't know what love is, and I thought I equated sex as love. And I was talking to a brother. It was 2 men in the room and 1 boy. I was the boy. 2 men. So 1 man, his woman brings him a plate of food, and it just looked like most disgusting thing in the world. The other man says to that man, he says, something's wrong with your relationship. Y'all better just go out to Outback Steakhouse and figure this out.
Wow.
And the other man says, what do you mean? He said, when a woman feeds you, if her heart ain't in the right place, you'll tell. Because when she prepares that food for you, when she breastfeeds her child, when she feeds her man, when she feeds her household, that's an act of love.
Yes, yes, yes. I agree with you. I agree with you. And I don't know what I was going to say. Apparently it wasn't important, but I'm going to hop on to what you're saying right now. Food. We had a video that we recorded a few months back about food, everything food, right? And that is something else to focus on as well. Food is extremely important in anything that we do. Understand? It clears our mind to think properly. And your woman is in charge of your food. What your woman feeds to you is the vibration that you're going to be on. Understand that fact. You need to know if you and this girl is dating and she brings out a plate full of rice, some chicken, and some potatoes. Honey, you need to leave. Don't stick around. Please don't stick around. Understand? This girl ain't taking you nowhere. But if you're like, honey, no, I don't eat this. This is what it is. And she's able, right, to listen to you and to do the things and change to the things that she's been taught in the Western world and change it over to who we are. Keep this young lady. She is trying to go somewhere. And I remember what I was going to say. I was saying that men have downtime. They have made our women to be so distracted with child rearing, with work, providing, etc. And our men are either in prison or on the block, the Caribbean I'm talking about, are partially working, right? So a lot of our men have downtime. You have downtime to educate yourselves, understand? And then go home to the female that you have and say, hey, honey, this is what I'm reading. This is what I've learned. This is how we can change the dynamic that we are in. Understand? Because we don't have that household where we have the downtime enough to learn something. We don't have the corona, I like to say, where we have good downtime, where we don't have bills and things to do to learn and re-educate ourselves and the things that we are supposed to be doing. So men, for me, I think it is more now your responsibility to take the mantle of be a man, be the God that you are inside and say, I am going to put the games down. I am going to put any weaknesses that you have down and take up some books. Watch some CRUMBTV. Watch some Young Pharaoh if you need to do something. Understand? To learn, to teach the beings that you're going to be creating with that wonderful female something so you guys can go forward with. We need to stop being so irresponsible and change the dynamic that we've been living in. We have the information that we need to do better. We need to do better. Anything to add?
I mean, we need to do better.
Yes, we need to do better. All right. So my next question for you, let me know when you need to go here. All right. My next question is everything in the polygamy department. In terms of our education, this is why I said that this is a good thing, because they can teach our children at home. Right now, the education system is bare crap, right? And when it comes to a union like this, the children is needed to learn to carry out the foundation that you're teaching them. So when it comes to education and this union that we want to create, what are the things that we should be focusing on when teaching our young ones? For people who may have started a union like this, and people who may want to start a union like this, what are the areas we are supposed to be focusing on educational-wise?
Well, 2 things you said. You said in the beginning, well, actually you said right then, men have the free time because the woman is, taking on a lot of these responsibilities, and she's going to be a little more busier than the man.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, at the beginning of it, you said, the woman is responsible for manifesting.
Yes.
Or creating.
Yes.
She's a creatrix, a seamstress,
Yes.
so on and so
Everything.
forth. So now, when we analyze our society, we in terms of teaching, we must understand and teach our children nation building. So now, when we look at polygamy, the real term, or I believe to be more palatable, is sisterhood.
Yes.
And if I just break down the word sisterhood, and I want to say a network of women working together. If you look in a hospital, can you see a network of women working together with just a few men at the top directing things just here and there? Most of your nurses are women. They're really doing the bulk of the work.
Yeah.
The doctor might cut the incision, but after he's done, that nurse practitioner is the one who does the surgery, and that's a woman. The doctor going to be there overseeing her, but she's doing the most of the work. A network.
Go ahead. Yes, I got you.
A network of women in terms of sisterhood, aka polygamy. I don't want to use the word polygamy, but that's what we know. But let's get back to a network of women as a loose definition. Let's go to the schools. There's a network of women teaching our children with 1 or 2 men at the top as the enforcers. The principal doesn't tell the teachers what to do. The principal is there when the teacher says the children being bad, get his ass in line. Once he get back in line, send him back to class.
Yeah.
When we go and look at the so we talked about the hospital. Yeah. We talked about the school. Yeah. I'm trying to think of another network of women. That retirement home. You go to that retirement home, it's going to be mostly women there. It's a network of women. So now, what should we be teaching our children? We need to teach the child what society looks like, and some of the most central and the foundations. I can't say one cornerstone, but particular foundations in which keeps our matter of fact, what do we call the place where our children go when we're at work?
Daycare.
In
the car. Okay.
Daycare. If we look at the daycare, this is a network of women. If we look at the schools, it's a network of women. Matter of fact, at the restaurants, even though the master chef is going to be pondered, or I forgot.
First of all, the strip club is a network of women. It's everywhere.
The strip club is a network of women. So now these women are coming together to manifest things and to build society. Now, there's a saying. A man can only build a house. A woman can build a house too, but because she gives a man respect, she'll let him do it. Now, both of them can build a house, but the woman allows the man to build the house. Sis, if you take out the trash, I'm going to be offended, right?
Yeah. Yes.
you could take out the trash too, but I want to take out the trash. That's my thing. Because that's what I do. So now a woman, a man can build you a house. That's the true statement. But only a woman can make it a home. What am I saying in terms of what we need to teach our children? We need to teach our children how to nation build. And we're going to take these aspects, which we think of as polygamy, and let's remove the sexual affiliation from it, and let's establish something. If we can if we can get our children to think in those terms, we as a people will be better off. Because the people I blocked at the beginning of this conversation was the people who said, I don't do polygamy. That was simply because they're only thinking with the sexual mindset. But when these women who don't do polygamy go to that hospital, they do polygamy. I'm a nurse. Oh, well, you're working with a network of women underneath a man.
Yes.
Oh, I'm a teacher. You're working with a network of women to be underneath a man. Oh, I work at the retirement. These are all networks of women working underneath a man. We've just separated the sexual affiliation to it. Our people have failed to separate the sexual affiliation, and now our relationships are sexualized, and that's the end all be all. If we can teach our children to just build together and to love each other without being sexually submissive or dominant, then we will establish something again. And while you're talking, I want to pull up a thing real quick. So you had mentioned what did you mention earlier? Coming to America.
Oh yeah, when you said your royal oats or something in that area.
Yeah.
Right.
I always use the example of coming to America to talk crap about our people, polygamy, and marriage.
Yes.
So there's a scene in Coming to America that is just utterly repulsive. Utterly repulsive.
I have a few, so I would like to know which one you're referring to.
Okay. Coming to America, bark like a dog.
Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So now, hold on. Come on, is it coming up? It's thinking. You can't see it because of whatever, but I'm gonna
Oh, you mean screen share? Okay, let me give you permission. Apologies. Let me
I can screen share on that side. Perfect.
Yeah. So yeah.
There's screen. All right. I'm gonna
screen share. I just give you permission. Yes, I just give you permission.
You just gave me permission.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now I'm gonna hit the share screen button. Where is this button? It's right here.
At the bottom. Yes.
Screen. Got it. All right.
And they see too? Your people can see.
Yeah, on my it's black right now, but they're okay. They can hear worse come to worse.
All right.
So I'll play it real quick. It's thinking.
Do I? No, I don't. Nope. You can turn up your audio, I think, unless.
Okay. Well, nothing's happening as of right now.
Okay.
The girl just walked behind the closed doors. This is where he first meets his bride. Because keep in mind, when you're dealing with marriages are arranged.
Yeah.
So he's just now seeing his bride, and he's a little bit upset.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yes, I know this. I would like to know about you. What do you like?
What do you like?
What kind of music do you like?
Whatever kind of music you like.
I know what I like, and I know you know what I like because you were trained to know what I like, but I would like to know what you like. For instance, do you have a favorite food?
Yes.
Good! What is your favorite food?
Whatever food you like.
Are you saying that no matter what I tell you to do, you will do?
Yes, Your Highness.
Anything I say, you do?
Yes, Your Highness.
Bark like a dog.
Okay, I can't bear it. No, I can't bear it.
I'm me. The things that I'm thinking to say right after that, right? Ugh. First of all, if you want to say something, no. First of all, right? The man left to go find a woman who thinks for herself. Understand? He left it. If he wanted, this is the age. I posted something earlier on my page on YouTube. Not YouTube and Instagram. Our men are changing, ladies. Understand? They're not for, I like your body, let's do something. They're for the mind. If you're not bringing anything to the table, he is going to leave and go to America and get him a thinking woman.
Teach!
Okay? So you need to stop thinking that your body is going to bring a brother. They don't want it no more. If you're not speaking life, if you're not speaking about spirituality, if you're not eating correctly, if you're not thinking about economical growth, as he mentioned earlier, this ain't going nowhere. We are going to be refused. No matter how good you look, no matter how great you may smell, they do not want you anymore. So understand that what you may be bringing body-wise to the table is not going to fly, ladies. They don't want that. So you need to change for you, not for them. Don't get that shit twisted. You're not changing because they're changing to a mindseted woman. Change for you. Our energies are speaking these days. And if a man don't feel the confidence in your energy, he ain't gonna be around you, boo. It's simple. Yeah, do you? Sorry, I wasn't even looking at you. Go ahead.
No. I wanted to add value. You know,
yes.
Because you're speaking about the women, we're not gonna double team the women. I'm gonna speak about the men.
Yes. Please.
Brother, she asked me, what should we be doing? Raise your daughter to be a woman. Don't raise her to be a sex slave.
Yes.
How many women have I come across that were just willing to have sex with me as my sex slave?
Right.
Oh, she's willing to be my sex slave. She's not willing to help me build a nation. She's willing to be my sex slave, but she's not really willing to help me grow this garden. She's willing to be my sex slave, but she's not willing to put her money and my money all into one account so we can establish this land.
Yes.
You know, fathers, we must raise our daughter. Sister, do you know what a woman's first love is?
Her father.
Her father.
Yeah. It is.
Brothers, fathers, uncles, men, boys,
Yeah.
I need all of y'all to hear me on this.
Mm-hmm.
Our women are listening to us.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta stop with the chasing the blonde hair, blue eyes. So now when our daughters say, oh, my daddy like blonde hair, blue eyes, and she get them contacts in that wig, you can't say nothing to her.
Exactly.
Because a part of that was because of you, sir.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I just want to put the ball in his court too.
Now I continue pushing the ball because you have a fair point. This is why I'm hard on my page is everything female, because we need to bring down the brokenness that they've been fed us to be good, right? So I'm always on the mothers. Why? Because you raised the son. You raised the son that I have to procreate with. Understand? You raise the man that my child, my daughter, is going to be in love with in a few years. Understand? I need to work on you for the sake of my line to continue going down this flow. As he said earlier, our ladies listen to our men. Some men may not think that this is true, but we do. It is why we work so hard on the butts. It is why we always wear skimpy clothes. We learn to keep the house. We learn to do this to cater to you. Even if it was taught in the wrong light, we still do it because we cater to you as our being, as our equal. Understand? So you being the man that you is, come to the table with some bum ass knowledge, some crumb dropping shit. Understand? Because this is the closest I could bring to you as a man. Crumb. What do you think you're going to create when you come like a crumble? What do you think as a man you're going to be creating? So give your ladies more, what is the word? I don't know, benefit of the doubt. Give her the more benefits of the doubt to say, hey, I trust you. Why not let us try this? Not because I don't think you can lead on your own, because I see that you have the great mindset, but you have the wrong information. Here is some information and go from there. This is how this happened to me. This here that I'm speaking and doing here, it began with a man. Understand? It began, I owe this being that I am now creating and becoming to a man. He came to me and he said, hey, blah, 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 blah. This is where to focus. And from there, I was like, thank you. And I went off like Usain Bolt, straight with it. I didn't waste time. And from there, I took up the mantle and I'm like, yo, okay, read this book, read that book, meditate, eat right, do this, do that. And this is it here. So men, we do need you to come to the table with some substance.
And I wanted to say to our men, you know, absolutely. But here's one thing that men are going to have a real hard time with. And I know because I've had a hard time with it as well. We've got to break these generational curses. Brothers, we got to come with an open heart. And I'm going to tell you who was the first woman to ever hurt these brothers?
Okay, thank you. It was their mothers. Yes.
Do you know my mama told me to stop crying? A man don't cry. Do you know how hard I struggle with my emotions as an adult, as a man dealing with a woman? Because of my mama. And I'm not saying my mom's a bad mother. She did the best by me, and she knew. She's like, listen, I'm about to raise him to be tough in this, you know, white man's world. And I was tough, and I was, well, tough often translated as callous.
Yes.
Now we're not tough anymore. We're just cold. We've lost the ability to perceive and express emotion. You know, brothers, I tell you, within this polygamy, you being around so many women, you might have to get in touch with your feminine side.
Yeah.
Brother.
Oh.
You might have to do that.
Yes, going Crumb.
You're going to get around all these women and you're going to become extra masculine. I'm like, no, well, you're going to have to be a little feminine, brother.
And not in a bad way. I hate when men think that you being feminine is you being girly. It is not that. It is so that you can relate to us, so you can understand our language the same way that we can be masculine and take out the trash, cut the hedges, build a house, speak your masculine, play your video games, by the way. Understand? It's the same way you can be able to say, hey, babe, you on your period, let me go buy you a pad. So it is not to bring you down and saying that you have feminine genes in you. Not feminine genes. You're behaving feminine. It is that you can relate to us the way that we take time out to relate to you and get in touch with our masculine side within ourselves. Okay? But continue. I just want to put that in there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we as men, you know, because when we're dealing with emotions, we say, oh, you're emotional, and that's going to be associated with a feminine aspect. Oh, he's an emotional man, he's feminine. Well, brothers, being emotional is not feminine. Being emotional is human. And my apologies, I got to throw these words in here. So let me say it one more time the way I would normally say it. Brothers, being emotional is not being feminine. Being emotional is being human. Asshole. I'm sorry. I be doing that. I don't know what my problem is.
Yeah, it's a Scorpio thing. I as hype as you, like my veins are coming out. How hype I am. We can't chill. We just be going at it. I know what you mean, but it is true. And that is one of the things that they've done in our dynamic in the man's world. They have put it where you must focus on being male, and you forgot the feminine side. And this is why we have the off balance in other relationships, because you want to be the alpha male all around, but then you're denying the feminine side of your body. And no wonder you think that you're going crazy when you think, oh, I like pink, or I like this. And then when you think, oh, I like girly things, you then decide to think that, oh, I'm gay, because you want to be more in touch with your feminine side of your being. No, it is you actually having the balance of the male and the female within you. So we as a union, for men alone, this is like a homework for you guys. Get in touch with both of the beings that are within you. I feel like when we do that, it will then bring us to then respect the female more. And for ladies, it will bring us to respect the male more as well, because we then understand him that is within us as well. So yes. Anything to add?
Well, you know, I usually typically don't go past the hour on my platform. But I tell you, I had to kind of break what I usually do, because I got to be honest. I've never had, I know I've attempted to do research.
Right.
And I've joined these polygamy groups. I've listened to other people's points on polygamy, and I got to be honest. I've never seen a more mature, honest conversation than the one I've had today. Anytime, you know, when I join these, I'm not in any polygamy groups. They're just all over sexualized and perverted and in poor taste and disgusting. I can't do any research in terms of polygamy, because it's all from a European perspective, and it's just ass backwards. And you know, this is so refreshing, because there is not a lot of conversations that are in this nature of respect, of maturity, of balance. It's all from a lower chakra energy.
Yes, I agree with you.
I just want to thank you for being the first woman who has ever taken a chance to speaking with me.
Yeah, gratitude. No, listen, I am going to take what you're saying, because exactly what you're feeling is exactly what I'm feeling. I'm like you. I don't know who to reach out to, because guys, I actually asked him to come and do this with me. I'm like, you know what? The other male that I've asked, they're only focusing on sex. Let me ask Crumb and see what he says. And he said yes. And I'm like, yes, because I want on my side of the world to realize that it is great to have a relationship like this. It's going to be so great for us. It's going to be so progressive for us. But we need to realize that sex is not at the top of the ladder for this union. It is not. It is going to be great. Yes, don't let us fault that. But it is going to break this union if it's at the top. Why? because our females are now healing. She is now regrowing. And she was taught her whole life that sex was this and sex was that. So we have come to not like sex. A lot of females have to admit that to themselves, because you realize that, oh, he just wants me for my body. So in turn, when we think about sex, we think of it in a negative light. So we don't really focus on that. So going to a union where you think the man is getting all the ladies and all of this, her first thinking is going to be, oh, he just wants to have a lot of females. He is not about the growth. But you have a different direction. You show her that you're in control of that sexual feeling and that being that is within you. She is going to respect you to be open enough about something like that. But you have to let that woman see that your focus is not sex, but is in rebuilding the community.
I want to end on a particular note, sis. Now that we've had a very responsible conversation, I want to talk about sex.
All right.
I want to humble the brothers. Brothers, there is not a more sexual creature on earth than women.
Yes.
I don't want y'all to think you are more sexual than women. You're not. There's this particular thing there's this particular thing that I do, sis, and I got to do it real quick. Yep, I'm sorry. Can you bear with this moment? Huh? Did somebody call me? I'll be right back. Sorry. Fellas, women are more sexual than you are.
We are.
Surprise! Her ejaculations are more, her orgasms are more deep, longer, and stronger. More frequent. Brother, you ain't never had an orgasm. Your joint went like this, her joint went like this.
Okay, thank you.
So now, with that said, some things what is understood need not be explained.
Yes.
Sis, at one point in time, I thought the contrary. I thought the opposite. I'm gonna tell you, once I stopped chasing sex, once I stopped being over-sexual, I realized how perverted women were. Goddamn!
Right in the chest. I know some women that will talk about, what are you talking about? I admit it. He's talking the truth. I admit it. Okay? That just hit me in the chest. Right in the chest. It's the truth. We definitely are very perverted.
So for the fellas, and especially the young boys, because I didn't know this when I was younger, you don't have to make it about sex. The sex thing will come. I give you my word. I promise. You don't got to push it. You hold out, she'll push it. You. Here I am with my nasty mouth. Bear with me. Guys, fuck around. You get raped out this bitch. Okay?
It's true. Okay? It's true. Listen, let's like take a step back and look at your sexual encounter, right? You go over at your female. You and her are supposed to have dinner. You go up at her house. You open the door. What do you see? She's in something sexy. She smells real good. She got food prepared. Who you think initiates sex? And you is her. Okay? She have planned that with her girls. She planned exactly what she gonna be doing, what she gonna touch, what she's gonna be saying, the movie to pick, how close she's gonna get. It's not you. It is not you. You think that you're having the lead. She allow you to think that you're having the lead. Okay? So it is not that. So at the end of the day, he is correct. We do take the mantle, but just to add what he said, females are more mental in sex. You look good and everything, but if you're not speaking, she don't want you to be. She do not want you if you're not speaking. You speak that life, I am going to get raw as well, sir. So excuse me, that pussy gonna get wet. Is that simple?
Simple.
That is it. And so you need to come correct, not just come correct and read some book and memorize the book and come and tell her facts. She's going to feel you. We have intuitions. Understand? So if we're not feeling you being the man that you're supposed to be, we don't want you still. Understand? So we need to feel the genuine growth in you. We need to feel that genuine king within you and everything is going to go well. So women are more but women are more mentally sexual, right? I think they call it sapiosexual. And male are physical stuff, okay? So in the end, sex is important, but if you're not trying to build a village, she don't want you.
Woo!
Right? And if he ain't trying to build a village, if you're not trying to build a village for him, he don't want you as well. Times are changing, ladies, and get your shit together.
Sis, just for my audience on my side, can you tell the people who you are, where they can find you?
Oh, yeah, guys. I am on Culture Healing. Culture Healing. I'm healing the culture. I think you get the idea. It's on YouTube. It's on all podcast platforms, and it's on Instagram as well. So Culture Healing is everywhere. Just type it in, and she's gonna pop right up in your face, looking so sweet and happy. So yes.
Well, with that said, I wanted to thank you again for making the time to speak with me. I rarely have the opportunity. Well, you had something to bring to the table. You know, people talk, but some people really have something to say. So I thank you for speaking and truly having something to say from the heart chakra. I really appreciate you, and I hope to have you back on the platform again.
Oh, I want to. I definitely want to come back for sure to have more discussions like this. I really want to get into it. I want to keep this going because I want people, that's why I'm doing the sisterhood series, so that way we can heal in our spectrum of the world, and then we could, this is a good thing. This is great. So if you will have me back and we could talk about this some more, that would be fantastic as well.
It's a date. I want to leave the family on my platform.
Yes.
Same way I came to you. In peace. I want to seriously thank you for this time. And I seriously want you back on the platform again.
You do. Thank you. As I am humbled, like truly, I am humbled that you want me to come back. I was extremely nervous because I wasn't sure I was going to add value to your platform because of what you do. No, honest to God, I actually wasn't sure. So I was really nervous, and then it went really well. So I'm like, okay, this is great stuff. This is really good. I appreciate you doing that, honestly. Thank you so very much.
I tell you, and the only reason I wasn't nervous because I already know what I bring to the platform.
Right.
But this is the thing. I know I don't bring what you bring. So I was cool from the beginning.
Okay. Okay, I got you. Well, I appreciate you coming as well and doing this. I really wanted you to because of what we just talked about, and let people understand that a union like this is going to bring healing to the community, right? We're going to be able to heal properly. We're going to be able to have conversations. We're going to be able to trust each other again. And this is what I want for something like us, for this union. So we can trust, because we don't trust each other. That is the honest to God truth. Whether it's man or female, we don't, right? And it's great to want to do this, but we need to trust each other enough to say, hey, I'm going to give you money to build a community, right? And that is where this needs to talk about. We need to talk about that within our community. We don't have it. We don't, especially amongst female. I've asked female to come to the platform to talk about if they would be open to ideas and show them different prospects in having this done. They weren't open because why? They don't trust females. That is the main thing.
Well, I want to thank you for giving me that trust.
Thank you. And I appreciate you for bringing what you did, because I wanted my side of the world to know that this union is bigger than sex. It is more mature than we have thought it would be. And to have a man like this where you can show example, right? With the things that you say and how you raise your children, the things that you say, how you be with your female, and everything that you speak about, they have an example of a father, right? That this is the man that I can possibly become and more. And I appreciate you for what you do, because you give us in this dynamic in the Caribbean an example of who to be as a man, because we don't really have that example over here. Honestly, it is the same white man role where it is you need to do what I want you to do, cook, clean, whatever it is. Not a dynamic for free thinkers like me. They're afraid of free thinkers like myself. So I appreciate you for doing what you do, because it gives example to the men here and they watch you like crazy. So thank you for being who you are, honestly. So appreciation. I have you here too long. I want to do this again, so I don't want to hold you up any longer. I'm going to post everything, but just tell them where you are so they can find you as well.
I am your humble brother, Crumb. You can find me on YouTube, CRUMBTV, Instagram, CRUMBTV_, and I call it Facebook. I'm sorry, excuse me. And on Facebook, but I call it Race Book. Hit that follow button, CRUMBTV. Thank you again, sister. Peace.
Right, good message. Have a great day, and thank you so very much again. It was a pleasure. Bye.
Hey you, yes you. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope that you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for coming to my page. So I would like for you to subscribe, and I also want you to watch the last video, and I hope that you enjoy everything on my channel. Thank you.